INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
Yeah, I guess Jack Ruby was the first superhero in history, if you really think about it.
Right.
I mean, Superman was 1938.
He killed a presidential assassin. What have you ever done?
So did Boston Corbett. He killed John Wilkes Booth.
Barry Corbett?
Boston Corbett.
The guy from Northern Exposure.
Northern Exposure. The funniest part of that was that two of you knew it.
I know who Boston Corbett is. I don't know who Barry Corbett is.
Well, it shaped our young lives. A lot of who we are is.
Barry Corbett's hunky.
So he's the guy who killed Booth, right?
Well, Boston Corbett?
If you believe Booth ever died, Brian.
Well, and I have a follow-up question, just because this is something I think is true, but as we're joined again as we'll introduce him again, I'm sure, by
No, you go
Eric
ahead and
Krug,
preemptively introduce him. That's fine, Brian.
Sure. Our presidential historian, our friend of the podcast. The phrase "your name is mud" or "your name will be mud," is that related to the Lincoln assassination at all somehow?
No, that's Primus. That's the band Primus. My name is Mud.
Gosh, man.
I've always heard that it was, but it seemed too convenient.
Yeah, what is it?
Like maybe they were accused of assisting Booth somehow, or like hiding him, or there was.
I always heard that it was the doctor.
Like your name will be Mud.
The doctor who treated Booth was Dr. Mudd, and he did not know that Booth had tried to kill the president, but he was nevertheless convicted and sent to the Florida Keys, and then helped with some kind of like yellow fever outbreak when he was in prison in the Florida Keys.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about. Yeah, no, I was trying to remember it. I was just looking it up, and it was the doctor who set John Wilkes Booth's ankle, because remember, it busted his ankle when he jumped from the balcony.
Oh yeah.
And so
Sic semper tyrannis, right?
He was the guy that set his ankle, and then Booth went on the run, and then he got tried as a conspirator. And so that's where the "your name is Mud" thing comes from.
Welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I'm Brian Camp.
I'm Mike Wiebe, and this week we've got special... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and let Brian say this again. I want him to get it.
You went twice. We are joined today with one of our most favorite guest hosts. This is the second time on here. Really, it's third time, but we 86th the second. Eric Krug. Thanks for joining us. Our presidential expert here to talk to us about things all presidential. I know Kevin has a whole host of stories based solely around centering on weird presidential news. So this is going to be a good one.
I didn't know that Eric was going to be on until an hour ago. So we just have normal. I'll tell you what we've got this week. We've got.
So it makes even less sense that you guys brought him back.
We've got a special true crime episode with two true crime news stories, a true crime bonus story for our Patreon listeners, and as Mike and Brian told you, we're joined by presidential expert and comedian Eric Krug.
Well, who knows more about crime than somebody who cares about the presidents? All those fucking guys do is commit crimes.
True.
Okay.
Edgy Mike has just shown up. The edgy 14-year-old is.
It'd be like. It'd be like if Eric was a congressional expert and we had a whole episode that was all about clowns.
All right, that was pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
Hey, remember what Nixon said? If the president does it, it's not a crime. Boom. Case closed. Case closed.
That kind of, it makes a little bit of sense, right?
I mean, I didn't think that was true, but I keep hearing people talk about how Trump can't be charged, and I was like, is that
it's nowhere in the. I'm going to tell you right now. That's nowhere in the Constitution. It's a Justice Department policy.
That's what I don't understand. It's like, it's just like, well, it's just a norm. Mm-hmm. You don't charge presidents. Like, they could just do anything. I don't think that's the way.
I can tell you for a fact. I don't know if you know this, Eric, but Ulysses S. Grant used to race around Washington D.C. in his chariot or whatever it is. What is it? Carriage. And
like a Ben-Hur chariot.
Yeah, with the Greek spikes on it. And
hell yeah!
Got pulled over by a cop on more than one occasion for it and ticketed.
That's fucking cool.
Let me follow up. I don't think you heard me when I said, but is it true that if the president pulls out his penis, you have to say it's big?
Yes, that's true.
When the president's holding it, you have to be impressed.
That's the Johnson rule. You know,
the Johnson.
It's a double meaning.
It's a double entendre.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a double entendre.
Hey, did he know that when he was running for president that he had the biggest penis?
I mean, I assume those guys talked about it.
Is there a size chart of presidential penises?
God, I would love that. I would have that. I would have that on my wall.
Like in Castor, like Castor Plus.
Right.
Oh, that would
at
be
the very top is the blue whale, and then it's just all the presidents.
Yeah.
There's just what is it, 46 penises? I'm sorry, 45, because Grover Cleveland's gets counted twice.
Right.
But maybe he had a growth spurt.
Bigger the second time. Yeah.
Two Grover Cleveland penises. That doesn't feel right. You shouldn't get two penises just because it was non-consecutive.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting scientific thing of whether penises get larger as you get older or smaller.
That's true.
Like fingernails. If you ever dig up a corpse, it's got like a 2-foot dick.
Wow.
Never stops growing.
I like that. After you die, your dick never stops growing.
A lot of teen suicides been chalked up to a desire to increase penis length.
You try to rob a really old grave, when you bust open the coffin, it's just all dick.
Just curled around the inside of the casket.
Just a bunch of dick unfurled. It's like one of those cans with the springy snakes in it when you try to open it.
Yeah. Everybody stand back. I gotta crack open this coffin.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd probably make your hair turn white like that.
Makes me wonder if Frankenstein's dick keeps getting bigger as long as because I guess he's alive, but is his tissue undead? He's alive again. His heart's beating, I guess.
Yeah, I think his heart is beating.
Yeah, he's not a zombie. He's a living human.
Zombies' penises continue to get bigger.
Well, that's true. Until they fall off.
That's why they walk so slow. Hey, that's good stuff.
That's how you get things going.
So which president, I do want to know this. Because we always say it's Kennedy, but we don't. I want to know which president got the most action.
Yeah, I would think it was Kennedy. I'm always curious, though, how little we know about, if we don't know a lot about the fucking habits of the early guys.
Yeah.
I think we kind of, because that was always my thing. There's a lot of rumors that Washington also fathered a slave, which I don't believe, but there's rumors out there of it. But I'm like, the reason I don't believe it, one of the reasons I don't believe it is, everybody knew, even at the time, about Jefferson's slave relationship.
Right.
Everybody knew that Hamilton was fucking everything that moved, even before he got busted for that sex scandal. So
typical rapper. Typical rapper.
So I mean, those things were out there, and I feel like if you were really doing something salacious, there'd be some murmur of rumors.
Right.
So I feel like it always got, but I feel like it's got to be Kennedy.
Is
there any chance Clinton has had more relations than Kennedy?
That's, what I would say that's possible only because I feel like Bill Clinton would fuck anything.
Yeah.
And Kennedy at least seemed to be
Well, there's
more
that,
disturbing.
but it's just when I heard the testimony of the various women he inelegantly was with, it sounds so awkward and so weird, and I just feel like he was somebody who clammed up in those situations.
He was great with Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole cigar thing, that's dope.
That's
later. That's
pretty nice.
It had built
That's
up
how you
to
woo a lady.
Kennedy's life of extramarital fucking was cut tragically short too. So I agree. If he had had a whole career, if he had a whole career, then sure. But I just feel like Clinton. I mean, there's a good chance Clinton right now, with the help of some modern medical marvel, is with,
that's a good point.
A lady.
I mean, again, if you're talking career points or points per game, that's the Like I don't really have a lot of respect for those career world records because it's just like, that just means you played more seasons, you know.
You hung around longer, right?
Now
I didn't know when to leave.
Yeah, I want a per capita side by side. Like, give me the years of Kennedy in his prime versus Clinton in his prime.
Okay,
and I want to know who's winning that challenge. And also Johnson. I mean,
in his prime. We're talking his prime. You got to put Roosevelt in there too. FDR.
Yeah, but I don't get the impression that Roosevelt was like going hog wild. I feel like he just had he seemed to be more of an affair
ladies
guy.
He was letting some ladies go wild on his hog, though.
Oh, for sure. But he seemed to be more of an affair guy.
Yeah,
like
okay.
not a like I'll chase skirt any way I can get it.
Okay.
Type of guy. There's not really.
Julio didn't rob him of the use of his.
That was later.
Yeah. Well, he still had what's funny is he still had an affair, even though I don't think his penis worked, but he was still with his mistress when he died, actually.
Yeah, they called him the tongue bandit.
That's right.
But I did see
there has to be a March of Dimes joke about this somehow. I don't know what it is though.
I'm trying to think of how we rework some FDR quotes.
Well, you know, and it is appropriate that we have presidential expert Eric Krug here on President's Day.
Holy shit! It is. There is actually a reason for this to be happening.
Eric's Eric's two favorite holidays are first President's Day, and then also 9/11.
You know,
I do love 9/11.
This is going to mean a lot on March 8th when this episode comes out. Oh, President's Day!
I know
it's been another 50 weeks.
I mean, this podcast is about the news, and the news happened in the past. You know,
there's lots of news in the past.
Unless you're doing future news, but
I might be.
That's prophecy, really.
Right.
That's prognostication.
We should have a prophecy special every now and again.
I was going to say, though, the more I think about it, I don't think there's like as many pussy hound presidents as people think, honestly.
Well, wasn't there? I saw on eBay once for sale the letter Benjamin Harrison wrote to his mistress telling her that his wife had died.
Oh, interesting. And again, Harrison's the one I know the least about. I guess I should say, like, I think there's a lot of them. There was a lot of them that had affairs, but not like full on pussy hound presidents. Like I think Warren G. Harding was a pussy hound president.
Yeah, and Kennedy, I mean, if you're talking the years that they were there, but also, I mean, like not probably nobody's favorite, but Trump probably put some numbers up there.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I guess he's always kind of like
quote unquote prime, but I don't know that he ever even had sex with his wife during his presidency.
Both plausible.
I'm not saying that because I don't like him, but there does seem to be like he's aggressively unhealthy. Like it does seem. I mean, I don't know, but he's also the type of dude that would shoot up some liquid Cialis or whatever to get it going.
Yeah, I also feel like he probably doesn't really care if she's pleased or not. So he's just probably probably just rubbing up against her under the sheets.
Yeah. Well, there are those theories like that he is almost asexual. Like there was a story where he'd gone out with this supermodel and like took her back to his place and was like, hold on, I'll be back in a minute. And like was gone for like half an hour and she went to look for him and he was in bed watching TV, eating a bowl of candy.
And I don't want to like him, but that's hilarious. Like,
yeah,
we're finally getting Mike to come around on.
Right.
Dumpster.
And I mean, it's like one of those things of like, you know, it's a lot easier when it's not actively like, you know, ruining my family or whatever.
Right.
But
oh yeah,
but yeah, like and who knows? It may come back, and I'm not like, you know, not backing off on that he's the wrong man for the job of the presidency, but Meatball Ron is really funny.
I think that Biden will get reelected because he's secretly what we all want a president to be. Have you noticed that, like, if you do jokes about Biden now, everyone can laugh at them, like Democrats and Republicans? Like, that's what we've missed.
That's interesting.
we finally have a president that we all could just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and I think we love it.
Yeah.
I think we fucking secretly love it, because I can't think of any other candidate who can provide us that we all can just be like, yeah, this Yahoo, he's boring.
We
he's
crave
old.
buffoonery.
Yeah, we crave something that kind of unites us, and just being like, government is real meh.
Yeah. What do we think that right now on President's Day? Do we think that do you think it's going to come down to Trump versus Biden, or Meatball Ron versus
Meatball Ron?
I think it's a question. I think it's a third question mark that we haven't gotten to yet.
What do you mean by that?
I think when Trump really kind of relaunches everything, I think people are going to realize how exhausting it was for him to be president. And like,
I feel like they already are.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to be able to get that momentum back. I think he's going to have the core group, but I don't think he's going to be able to put it over the finish line this time.
I was just saying, even before the midterms, I was already saying I didn't think he was going to be the nominee.
Right.
So you think it'll be Meatball Ron?
Well, he's definitely the best chance now, but I mean, I think it's long enough away that it could be.
Yeah, I think there's going to be I think there's going to be somebody else that comes out that's just we don't know about yet, and that's going to be the person who kind of unites that political bloc.
I have two predictions. The first is that, and I would put money on this, that it will be, as Mike says, Meatball Ron, only because he will secure the nomination, and he will be the left will be so poised to launch the same type of attacks that they attacked Trump with. But he is not Trump, and people will want to paint him with the same brush. And so he will be able to respond to that. And then that will build his base, and he will regrow the Republican brand. That's prediction one. Prediction two is what I wish would happen is that we need another general president. We need another Eisenhower. We need 4 years of, let's just build some shit. Let's just chunk all this other stuff to the side. I don't really understand it. And let's just do some work. That'd be nice.
You can't get that general president until you get a war, though, because that's where those general presidents come from.
Oh man, well, it's only a matter of time. Let's get it going.
There's a war on Christmas every year.
We got a general leading the war on Christmas.
That's right. The Postmaster General, in fact, is I think somehow involved in the war on Christmas.
Jeff Ross, the Roast Master General.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, and Mark, you can cut this out. I don't care. But
Mark,
I just think leave it in. It's hot. Leave his hot take that cancels the podcast.
The chaos Meatball Ron has been causing in Florida is going to catch up with him, and everybody's going to go, "We don't want this in our state, Jesus. We don't want this in every state, Jesus Christ."
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's got a pretty good shot. Honestly, I feel like
Florida likes him.
Florida sort of likes him, but the Democrats didn't put any money against him. They put in 2% of what they did in the last election. Like, he didn't have any opposition. They went like, yeah, we want this crazy guy who's an extremist so we can alienate our, voters from him, which I think is a stupid strategy. But I think that was their goal.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, first off, like, Trump and Biden, both of them could die any day now. So there's always that. But like, I think, I don't know. It is. I'm not sure how DeSantis is Meatball Ron is going to do in the general election, because like, I feel like he's not ever had to be in that arena yet. He's still trying to keep his mouth shut as like, he's being called a meatball, and he can't do that forever. And I just don't, because his like whole thing is, a lot of his policies are pretty mild and moderate, but then he tries to make them sound crazy. He tries to like whip people into a frenzy. And I think you're right. That may not play very well on a national stage.
I mean, I think looking at education, and people are going to go, wait, we got to restructure everything potentially? That's strange.
And I didn't even realize he was in the House. So he's got like old votes. Like, he voted against Social Security when he was in the House. And so that's going to be brought up. And like, it's just going to be a lot of people are going to start to realize he's had contradicting opinions, because he's one of those dudes who definitely just does whatever's popular in the moment.
At the moment,
and so that I think will start to like get dragged.
I do think he has good endurance, and I think that's been his strength. But
yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, this is probably all getting cut out because it's
sorry.
What?
I don't know if you know this. We have a comedy podcast, not a political podcast.
What do you mean comedy?
What are you talking about?
Nothing we do is comedy,
Kevin. We tell two things: the truth and the news.
Yeah, I didn't come here.
And sometimes the two are not mutually exclusive.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. Oh man,
nobody is safe tonight, right, Mike?
The media. You're in my crosshairs.
Got him. I'm
going to tell y'all that I have a real strong drink I've been drinking since we started. So this has been going on for a while already. So my ability to make it through to the end of this is beginning to be called into question.
What you drinking?
I mean, I feel that way every week with you, Brian.
Well, that's because you were so overwhelmed by my insight into the news of the day that I could see how that would strain anyone's.
So our first story comes to us from WFMZ News, Channel 69 in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard it. That's good. And where? Allentown, where?
Allentown, Pennsylvania. This whole story is set in Allentown. The 1990 film, I Love You to Death, was about a wife, played by Tracy Ullman, who hires incompetent hitmen who repeatedly fail to kill her husband, played by Kevin Kline. What's less known about this story is that it's based on a real-life couple in Allentown, Pennsylvania. In 1983, Tony and Frances Toto had 4 kids and they owned a pizza shop. But it turned out that Tony was cheating on Frances, so Frances hired 2 teenage hitmen to kill Tony, which they attempted and failed at 5 times. The failed attempts ranged from trying to blow up Tony's car to attacking him with a baseball bat. Finally, Frances put a bottle of sleeping pills in Tony's food, and then the hitman shot him once in the back of the head and once in the back. But Tony still didn't die, and 5 days later, the police realized what had happened. Police arrested Frances and the hitmen, and Tony spent the next 12 days recovering in the hospital, but doctors have never been able to remove the bullet from his skull. As soon as he was out of the hospital, however, Tony bailed out his wife. He said, and this is a little bit broken English, I'm just going to warn you ahead of time.
Oh, Kevin, you're better than this.
He said, quote, "And then we both cry, and we said to each other, from now on, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's communicate better. Something we should have done it before. That's what was missing." Despite making up, Frances still had to pay for her crimes, and she was jailed for attempted murder until 1988. Nevertheless, last month, the couple celebrated their 57th wedding anniversary, the 40th since Tony was shot. Tony said, quote, "Did I forgive? Yes. Nothing happened to me. It's okay. Don't do it again. Take it easy."
Wow. This is making me feel really pathetic that I'm still single. This fucking guy. Yeah. This fucking couple got their 57th wedding anniversary. Shooting him in the back of the head.
I'm not currently single, but it does make me feel like every single obstacle I had to a relationship was really not that bad.
You can make it work.
Did he not know he was shot?
Well, so she gave him, I didn't write this into the story, but she gave him she put a bottle of sleeping pills in his food.
I remember the movie, and in the movie, she crushes up sleeping pills and puts it all over his spaghetti like it's Parmesan.
That's a good
That's
move.
a lot.
And then she shoots him in the back of the head, and his head falls down in the spaghetti.
Does he get killed in the movie?
No, it was crazy because I kept thinking like the movie's going to be the fictionalized version of this because I vaguely remember that movie, and now I'm hearing that it was completely true. Because in the movies he's Kevin Kline, but he's really like doing like a sort of a Meatball Ron style Italian Jersey guy or whatever kind of vibe. And he's real like. Yeah, I don't know. He's doing this very like character, and he's just like, you know what? You're right. You should have shot me, kind of thing. I was gonna say I hold grudges a lot more than this. I think it would be tough for me to let go But continue what you know about this story, Kevin.
So just to answer Brian's question real quick, apparently, according to the doctors anyway, all the sleeping pills put him into like a semi-comatose state. So when he got shot and then he kind of woke up, but he was in a haze. She told him he had the flu, and even though he was bleeding, he believed her.
Yeah,
because he never really, his blood pressure was super low, and he just never totally recovered. And it wasn't clear how the police found out, but yeah, the police ultimately kind of saved his life.
Wow.
5 days later. So he had a bullet in his, he unknowingly had a bullet in his head for 5 days.
Yeah, the other one went through his chest.
It went just straight through.
Do you know about that one?
Yeah.
He didn't.
No, he just thought apparently it didn't hit any major organs, and he just was like so out of it from the sleeping pills. He thought he had the flu. His wife's like, "You have the flu." He's like, "Oh, okay, I have the flu."
I feel like he didn't tell us the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think the main bad guy from Fish Called Wanda, but dumber.
Yeah, that's weird. You don't notice a hole in your chest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This sounds like the defense's theory at trial to try to. I feel like this is something that no person would believe. Well,
yeah, I mean,
they love each other, and he learned the error of his ways. He won't cheat on Tracy Ullman anymore.
Yeah. One, let's talk about the fact that they gave a major motion picture to Tracy Ullman. What about that?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
That was like, she was starting to like hit a little moment there. She had the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah, she had that moment with the Tracy Ullman show.
She got canceled, but The Simpsons got catapulted into...
She got canceled. What did she say?
Said vaccines aren't real.
Right, that's a classic Tracy Ullman take. She lost her show because of it.
Hey, I'm an old man. I think vaccines aren't real. I'm a pretty girl from the UK. She did. All her characters didn't believe in vaccines.
Mm-hmm. The one common thread united them. Yeah, how did she get? Well, I guess she was British famous, right?
Well, she was a pop star in England. That's what's the weirdest part about it.
But was she a comedian or was she?
She was
just
a pop star, and then I think she started doing comedy after that. Like I looked up some of this last night because I was
started with singing?
It was interesting. But yeah, she was like a hairdresser for the wife of the guy who owns Stiff Records, and she was just basically like, "Oh, you can sing? Do you want to put out an album?" My husband puts out albums, and she put out an album, and one of her songs hit like number 6 in the U.S. Like I don't remember it at all.
What?
Yeah.
Was it like a novelty song?
What WAP? Wet ass pussy?
Is it that song "They Don't Know About Us"? That was the one that I know.
Oh yeah.
She did a cover of "They Don't Know."
That might be the one. Let's see here.
Which is a good 80s jam, honestly.
They Don't Know.
Like,
yeah, They Don't Know was hit number 2 in the UK and number 8 in the US. It was an international hit.
So, Mike and Eric, if I can ask y'all a question, because both of you have a career in the comedy arts. It's always been my understanding.
I wouldn't call it a career.
Well, some people would say that.
Damn it. No, minimizing your great success. I'm more of an
action hero, but yeah, I do.
Oh, no, I was talking about Mike, not me.
It's something that you both have more than a passing familiarity with. I was always under the impression that is largely an American endeavor, like a U.S. American, and that certainly, and like what we're in now, it might be something that's becoming more of an international phenomenon. But the whole profession as stand-up comedian is certainly in the 80s, in the era of Tracy Ullman, might have been extremely rare in Britain. Like am I completely, like, that's just always been led to believe.
She wasn't a stand-up. She was like an impression sketch lady and stuff, and that was her whole thing. She did like characters.
Her show was a sketch show.
But she's terrible at that. Is that what made her famous?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. I mean, her show was just her doing all her classic characters.
It was one of the things I was wondering why she got such a huge. It must be partly because of this song, but like why she got such a big American push, because it felt so British in a way that, like, I was like, I feel like there's just a humor dial that we don't pick up on here on some, like, really not all British stuff at all by any means, but like there's some stuff that's very like, this is not made for us. This is made for.
There's a mood over there they can tie into that will never hit the mood here, right?
Right.
There's just something about being British that is vastly different and has something to do with traffic circles.
Mm-hmm. Beans for breakfast.
Yeah, sweet beans.
That's why they like Mr. Bean.
They watch him at breakfast time.
Yeah, because he's a breakfast guy.
You know, I like it when we solve one. I feel like this one's been solved.
That is
We've
good.
solved British humor. You're welcome, world.
What can we get some other cast members of this movie? I'm trying to remember who the
Well, there's River Phoenix.
Yes.
There's Keanu Reeves plays one of the hitmen.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So they reunited from My Own Private Idaho.
I feel like she's.
You ever see My Own Private Idaho, where they play a couple of gay prostitutes?
Was the song before or after that movie?
Before.
I think it was before.
Okay.
Let's see. There's William Hurt.
No.
Joan Plowright.
Oh, Plowright. Is there a wrong way?
Plow right through her.
Oh, wait.
Victoria Jackson as Lacey.
Hey, now there's a lady that doesn't believe in vaccines.
Oh, Heather Graham's in it. Early Heather Graham appearance.
Ooh la la.
And Phoebe Cates as Joey's disco girl, uncredited, probably because she was married to Kevin Kline by that point.
Still married to this day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
Oh, she married it. They got married the next year in '89. Oh no, this is '90.
It'd be crazy if they broke up, but the fucking real guy that got his head shot in by his wife was now just stick it out with her, and he couldn't stick it out with the prettiest girl of the '80s.
I think it would be better if Kevin Kline and Phoebe Cates are on the splits, and then Tony Toto comes in and goes, "Hold on, I'll fix this."
Tells them how to laugh and love again. They've loved each other. They just forgotten to show each other how. What happened to the two guys that actually tried the 5-time pulling the hits?
I couldn't find out how long that they were sentenced, but I have to assume to at least 1988, but probably longer.
Man, they got to be pissed off if they're like rotting in jail and this guy just gets back together with his wife.
And I feel like in the movie, one of the two hitmen, Keanu Reeves or River Phoenix, was in love with Tracy Ullman.
No, yet River Phoenix is in love with Tracy Ullman, but he's not. The hitmen were William Hurt and Keanu Reeves. He just like hooked up. River Phoenix was just like, oh, I got these cousins or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And they'll and River Phoenix's name is Devo.
Devo,
and then last name Nod.
Devo
Nod.
Which is almost as weird a name as River Phoenix.
Leaf Phoenix, Flower Phoenix. They all had crazy hippie names because their parents were hippies in the Children of God cult.
That's right.
And River Phoenix once talked about how he lost his virginity in a tent with his entire family, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, all sitting around in a circle directly outside rooting him on.
It's kind of like Midsummer.
See, now that one makes me feel even sadder than I'm still single. Right. That's a pretty baller story.
Now, are you still single or are you still a virgin?
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to get into all that.
I mean, it is hard because your whole family was around the tent just jeering you, going, "You can't do this."
That's right.
Boo.
Right.
Boo.
This is baseball all over again. That's right.
You never do anything right.
Why do we waste that money on lessons?
So, you guys ready for our next story?
Oh, yeah. All right.
Wait. Have you guys, Mike, you've seen the movie. What kind of rating do you give it?
Man, I remember thinking this is going to be really fun and then kind of being kind of bored with it. But also, I mean, it's probably been 25 years since I've seen that movie. So I don't really remember that much of it.
Yeah. I mean,
I will tell you a pretty cool movie, though. John Wick. Keanu Reeves is in that one.
Also with Keanu Reeves.
Too. They killed his dog, and now he's got to kill them.
Yeah,
John Wick.
So Eric, Brian, have you seen this movie?
Oh, I definitely can remember having seen it when I was younger, but I don't really remember it that well. But like the more we talked about it, was like, oh, I do remember this movie.
Do you have a rating for us?
I don't remember. I don't remember if I liked it though. It's been way too long. This would have had to have been at least 20, 25 years ago.
Well, it came out 32 years ago. 30, what year is it? 33 years ago. So
did Kevin Kline have like a borderline offensive Italian accent in it? Like, is it a borderline, oh, you're making fun of Italian people?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Similar to
I think he like wears a like a wife beater the entire,
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure that I've seen parts of it, probably on USA late at night.
Is it worse than his offensive French accent in, is it French Kiss?
I've never seen that movie.
Meg Ryan. He does it really.
I've never seen that movie. It's a cool movie though. John Wick Part 2.
Oh, they made a second one?
Yeah.
With different people, right?
No, he still remembers that they killed his dog and he's still mad.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. I don't call him man best friend for nothing.
So our next story comes to us from Sora News 24, a Japanese news site.
George Soros News. I hate this guy.
Mike makes that
I hate this guy.
Same joke every single time we do Sora
I still
News.
fucking hate this guy. And I'll tell you why I hate him. He owes me union scale SAG after rates because I was protesting at a thing and I never got paid.
Where were you protesting?
I was protesting. It was a Christian event, and he paid me and a bunch of guys. It was the lighting of the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center, and I went down there with my Antifa thug friends and just walked around going like, "Religion is bad. We hate religion. We hate Christmas." Nah, nah, nah. Listen, listen. You give me a script and I read it. I don't. It's my job to. It's my yeah.
You wrote that down.
RAARAARAAAW. Row row row.
So Japan is a country known for its incredibly low crime rates. Nevertheless, one man in Osaka tried to single-handedly change this recently when he attempted to rob 4 convenience stores in just 20 minutes.
Oh.
The crime spree began at 3 a.m. when the man allegedly threatened a clerk with a large kitchen knife. He then escaped with 60,000 yen, or about $454. It's unclear what happened when he tried to rob the next 2 convenience stores, but between the 3rd and 4th ones, he stopped at a different convenience store, which he didn't rob, and he paid for his phone bill using the money he'd just stolen. The man then continued to his last location, but it's not clear if he got away with any more money. Unfortunately for the man, police were able to track his movements using various security cameras in the area. And I want to point this out. The entire area had a radius of just 547 yards or 500 meters. So he wasn't very hard to track. Police found when he went into the convenience store to pay his bill, and they traced the phone bill transaction to easily identify him. The man admitted to his crimes and said he had money problems, but at least his phone still works.
Why are there so many convenience stores right next to each other? This seems like poor planning.
But it's like in New York City, there's like one on every block, and people like sit on one block or whatever. It's Tokyo, Jack.
When you live in a land where convenience stores never get robbed,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
Everybody wants one.
It's like not hunting deer.
I mean, I thought about it too as being a lot, but then I thought I'm easily within 500 yards of at least 4 convenience stores. And I don't even live on a good street.
That's very convenient.
I mean, there's some.
I got 2.
I mean, what if there was only one store per state? That'd be pretty much an inconvenience store, if you know what I mean.
And where in Japan did this happen?
Osaka.
Yeah, I mean that's like it's probably very metropolitan. There's a lot of places where there's literally like convenience stores across the street from each other. I will say Japan. The time I was over there, it feels like there's like no crime. What?
Thank you, Brian.
Here he goes. Always talking about his trip to Japan again. I went to Japan.
Well, it wasn't like work. It was a sex tourism thing.
Yeah, I read your blog.
4 floors of whores. There's a place called.
Like that movie, The Raid, but with whores.
Wow.
You know, you watched that movie. I tried watching that HBO show, Tokyo Vice, and it was like this Michael Mann show about Tokyo, and like this. It was good, but also like, didn't you think like their crime isn't really that bad? It's not like it's like one person maybe got murdered or something like that, and the rest was all like, we built this building too wide or something.
Like we covered that guy who stole a motor, like basically a motorcycle. He got in a hit and run with his motorcycle, and 2 months later, a cop recognized his motorcycle.
Wasn't it a 3-wheeler?
It was a 3-wheel, but the back wheels are super close together. I don't want to give the impression that it's like a giant tricycle.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a giant tricycle. It's just not with wide wheels. Yeah. Didn't he get caught in an alley that got narrow and narrower?
Eventually he got caught in an alley.
Yeah,
a cartoon alley
right.
that just gets narrow.
That's the building they made too wide.
Who builds an alley? Who builds an alley though that purposely?
I was gonna say, I bet it's noticeable because it probably had like an anime sticker on it or something.
I wouldn't know. I've never been to Japan.
Oh, it's crazy because I have.
Oh, Mike's been to Japan.
No,
just
let me
ask
say this
him. He'll
about
tell you
Japan
about it for
because it's
hours.
interesting. It's from my experience that I had over there.
Oh, so weird.
I was walking around, loving the fact I was in Japan. It really did feel like there wasn't a lot of crime. I also felt like there was not a speck of trash anywhere, and there were no public trash cans. But people, I guess, just walked around with their trash all day or something like that. Have you ever seen the movie Lost in Translation?
Mm-mm.
Well, that movie's set in Japan.
Oh, it's weird. What do you know?
Wow.
Do you know something about Japan?
Yeah, I went there one time.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Also, I've seen every anime.
Was it like the movie
see.
Lost in Translation?
Oh.
Wow,
Yep.
that's a lot of anime.
I feel like we should just start asking.
Yeah, just ask me if it's anime. I'll tell you if I've seen it.
Hey, Fist of the North Star.
Yep.
Akira.
Oh, that's 2.
Akira. Yep.
To both of them?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say yes to Fist of the North Star?
Yeah,
I said yes. Yeah, to Fist of the North Star.
Oh, okay.
I saw them both in the same theater.
Yeah, I think with me, both. One of them with me, I think. Yeah. The Inwood for our Dallas listeners.
They love Kentucky Fried Chicken over there.
Oh, yeah.
I know that. You got to
covered that.
I can confirm that as I was in Japan one time, and as I was walking around, I noticed, boy, oh boy, there sure is a lot of Kentucky Fried Chicken around here. And I asked multiple people. I said, "Do you like Kentucky Fried Chicken?" And they didn't know what I was saying because of the language barrier. But they were holding Kentucky Fried Chicken, and the way they were eating it made me, I used deductive reasoning to think, man, people really like Kentucky Fried Chicken over here.
Yeah.
Did you buy any of them used panties from the vending machine?
No, but I brought a bunch. I brought a bunch over there. Not with the intention to sell them. I just need it's kind of a safety blanket sort of thing. I'm sort of like Linus from Peanuts, except for it's dirty panties that I carry with me all the time. And I suck my thumb when I'm holding them.
Right.
Well, I'm proud of this guy. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Wait, who are we talking about again? Oh, the guy who robbed all the.
I thought we were talking about me for going to Japan.
Oh, have you been to Japan?
Yeah.
You're proud
I'm
of
proud of
yourself.
that guy. Me for going.
Right. So this guy and I might have missed this in the story. It'd be, did he use a weapon to hold up the store, or was it like what?
He had a kitchen knife.
A kitchen knife.
It was he had like a big it was an 8-inch kitchen knife. I don't know how many centimeters that is off the top of my head.
Probably about
because I cut it out
60.
of the story.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Look at this.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen.
Christ.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Oh wow,
guys.
Holy
it's
shit.
happening.
What did I get into?
We've done something wrong.
Actually,
I feel
you
like.
know what? This is good. Listeners, Mark Ryan's just showed up. And Mark Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, is another person that has been to Japan.
That's true. That's
Mark,
correct.
maybe we can get these guys on mute because two of us can talk because we've both been to Japan. And
Right.
everyone else... Wait, I didn't even check. You guys haven't been to Japan, right?
I have not.
Okay.
Have not.
no.
I actually have been to
Oh,
Japan.
shit.
Well, you're
I've
also the
been to
guest, so you're
Tokyo.
not allowed to talk. So, Mark,
Well,
Okay, fair
yeah. So I apologize for the rest of the guys because they tend to not talk to the guests. So, that's,
Yeah, we are terrible about that, aren't we?
Yeah, you have a guest and then
Yeah,
you
it's
don't actually
interesting to
interview them.
Invite a guest and then tell him to shut up.
It's okay. Just to let you know, we did like 10 minutes of really, probably 5 minutes of really stiff president.
yeah, stiff as in we were talking about presidential dicks. All back.
We were talking about that. That's an excellent callback.
Okay, so now what?
Mark, which president do you think had the biggest dick?
Johnson, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
It's consensus.
Yeah,
Larry
the
Johnson.
Johnson rule.
Got the name.
Mm-hmm.
President Larry.
So what's up with
Johnson.
Japan? What's
Well,
what's
there's
going
this
on
guy, and he robbed like 4 or 5 stores in 4 stores in a small radius, and
Like a 500
that's
meter
like
radius.
a big deal in Japan. That's something that like got. I mean, I've done that over here, and I didn't get caught. And I've been to Japan.
Yeah, nobody cares here.
Yeah. Didn't make the news. Yeah.
And just held up a knife at him too. I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's true.
He only used an 8-inch knife, which is like 1/3 of a LBJ dick.
Yeah,
And that's
right.
all it took. That's all it took to rob these convenience stores. A kitchen knife.
Yeah, well, it just took them by surprise because none of them are prepared for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Right. If I was behind a counter and the guy just like shoves a knife, like, I mean,
Right.
maybe just try to like smack it away from him. I don't even know if like that would be
Here
enough
you'll
in
get
Japan.
beat up with a T-ball
They don't
bat.
know. They don't know what. They don't know how a
Yeah.
knife is.
that's
yeah,
Wait, is T-ball the? No, I'm thinking wiffle ball.
No, T-ball bat's the perfect.
You think convenience store owners are keeping a wiffle ball bat behind?
It's bright
the
yellow.
counter?
Maybe you could do some damage to that fat red one.
Just making that little sound. Bonk.
Built with
Hey.
concrete. I'll do it.
Yeah, fill it with
Oh, yeah.
quarters. Wiffle ball bat filled with quarters.
Damn.
And then you whack them
yeah. Or just a bag filled with soda pops.
Oh,
Bad
man.
Boys.
The greatest Sean Penn movie ever made.
good.
Who else was in that movie?
Esai Morales.
Which one?
It's about Sean Penn. He's a kid. He goes to like a reformatory school, and he's called Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, so I thought you meant the Bad Boys with Will Smith and
That's Bad Boys for
Martin
life.
Sean Penn's not in that movie, Kevin.
thanks, Brad.
Yeah, they didn't bring him. They didn't
Yeah.
bring him back for Bad Boys 2.
No, wasn't the bit that Sean Penn was like a rich kid, and so he wasn't fitting in the reform, like everybody picked on him.
Well, I can't remember.
And then
Yeah, I know he's in jail.
like only the last 10 minutes is good, I think.
Yeah, it's because when he beats the guy.
With a bag full of sodas.
'Cause that's when he gets the pillowcase. Yeah. And there's like, I guess the scene as I recall
That is pretty
is
sick.
they're in some sort of gymnasium with chain link around it, almost like a Thunderdome thing. And he somehow bars everyone outside of it. And the counselor who's been trying to reach him this entire movie is pleading with him not to do it. And he still fills his pillowcase with soda cans and beats the shit out of somebody. It's pretty good.
That's that's a sick move. Because I bet it'd be fun too. Because like when you hit them with the soda cans, then they start squirting and spraying everywhere.
If I was standing right next to it, I'd be going, opening my mouth, trying to get a little bit of that sweet, sweet Pepsi.
Yeah. They should have done that in the movie. Like while he's wailing on him, all the other inmates are just getting drenched in Pepsi and just like having a great
Wow.
time. And then he turned it into like a Pepsi Super Bowl commercial.
You know what?
That would be a good super commercial. And I don't know if I've told you guys this. I only watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. Yeah. It's a little something interesting about me.
They're really good. Very good. Wow.
Yeah. They do like the Breaking Bad Super Bowl commercial. They bring back all this old stuff. That'd be so great to just bring back Sean Penn now, recreate the scene from Bad Boys for like a Pepsi commercial. But people be like, "What is that a reference to?" Like it's
beats the shit out of somebody, like in that 30-second spot.
Yeah, like that. Literally just murders this guy with Pepsi cans. And then it just cuts to the Pepsi logo, and everybody's like, "What the fuck was?"
Oh, I'd buy a Pepsi.
He's just Pepsi.
Yep. I'd go to the store immediately.
So, our next story is a bonus story.
Bonus.
If you want to listen to this, go to our Patreon and subscribe at least the $3 level. That's the Knights of Kevin level. And you'll get access to this and all of our other bonus stories. I will give you a little taste here. This is about what is possibly the worst airline passenger of all time. We did the lady who was nursing a cat in the middle of a flight and saying it was her baby. This may be worse than that.
I was going to say that it's one of the guys from that 9/11 flight.
Which one? Which one do you think was the worst passenger?
They're all not the kind of guys I want to be on a flight with.
There's one guy. There's one guy who not only hijacked the plane, but also was kicking the seat in front of him and kept ringing the call button.
Opened up a bag of leftover shrimp and started eating it.
It was obvious. It had obviously gone bad. He didn't care. He was getting food poisoning. Okay, so that wraps up another week of the International News Service. Find us across social media at International News Pod. Email it. Oh wait, Eric, where can people find you?
Social media, like nowhere. I don't do social media.
You got a Substack.
I guess just email me.
You got a Substack.
Oh, my Substack. Yes. Substack. Eric Krug, print the legend. Yeah, the Substack.
Email us at internationalnews@gmail.com. This coming Sunday is daylight savings time. Remember to tell your friends to set their clocks forward and to listen to INS. Check out the INS merch store at Redbubble and our Patreon, and don't forget to check out our subreddit at r/INSpod. We'll see you next week.
Aliens are real. Tom DeLonge.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.